结婚16年啊，没有一个是我的3个小孩。
This must be the most frustrated man of 2023. Married for 16 years, all 3 children are not his biological children, but that's not the end of it. When the incident was exposed, the woman gave birth to a 4th child, and it also wasn't his biological child. Recently, Mr. Chen from Shangrao City, Jiangxi Province, revealed that after being married for over a decade, none of the 3 daughters he had with his wife were biologically his. After the story was exposed by social media, it quickly gained widespread attention and had a huge social impact. Mr. Chen and his wife, Ms. Yu, were introduced to each other through a matchmaker in 2007. At that time, blind dating was a very common method of finding a partner. The two got along well after meeting, and after a few months, they confirmed their romantic relationship. In November 2007, Ms. Yu got pregnant, and Mr. Chen and Ms. Yu registered their marriage with their parents as witnesses, officially becoming husband and wife. On February 28, 2008, they held a grand wedding. Before marriage, Mr. Chen had been working in Hangzhou, operating a concrete mixer truck. After getting married, in order to provide a better life for his wife and future children, he quit his job in Hangzhou and became a semi-trailer truck driver. Being a semi-trailer truck driver is very hard work, so Mr. Chen lived and ate on the truck to save money, and he handed over his entire monthly salary to his wife, Ms. Yu. Over the years, Ms. Yu gave birth to 3 daughters and stayed at home to care for them, while all the financial responsibilities rested solely on Mr. Chen's shoulders. For Mr. Chen at that time, this was nothing out of the ordinary. He believed that as long as he could provide well for his wife and children, he would be happy, no matter how hard he had to work. Although their life was not wealthy, it was peaceful. It wasn't until May 2021 that his wife, who hadn't been involved in society for years, suddenly proposed to partner with a man named Wu Tan on a project. At the time, Mr. Chen didn't know who Wu Tan was, so he agreed to his wife's request. One evening, around 7 p.m., Mr. Chen video called his wife, but when she answered, she only spoke briefly before wanting to hang up, saying she was about to put the children to bed. Considering it was only around 7 p.m., Mr. Chen found it strange that she would be putting the children to bed so early. He thought she was just tired from taking care of the kids, so he didn't think much of it. However, this happened several times afterward. Since Mr. Chen was often away on the road, he started feeling uneasy. So, Mr. Chen used his phone's location tracker to check where his wife was, and found that she was at a hotel. He navigated to the hotel, but didn't dare to go inside. He wasn't sure what he would face next, and he didn't know how to face his children either. He waited outside the hotel all night. At that point, he still held on to a faint hope that maybe his wife was just out for a short trip. But eventually, reality hit him. The next morning, around 9 a.m., he saw his wife, Ms. Yu, walking to the front desk with a man. They checked out of the hotel together. Mr. Chen could no longer control his anger, and slapped both of them. It was no wonder that Mr. Chen lost control. What man could endure being betrayed by his wife? It was a complete humiliation. Perhaps because they felt guilty, neither of them fought back. Mr. Chen then informed his wife's aunt and uncle, and they went to his mother-in-law's house to expose the incident. Mr. Chen thought that his mother-in-law's family would side with him, but he never expected that they would all advise him to let it go and go back to his life. Mr. Chen was furious. Why should he just swallow his pride with a few words of, "let it go"? But what else could he do? During an interview with the media, Mr. Chen tearfully expressed his pain.
我就在想，他只要肯回头，为了孩子，只能选择原谅啊！我不想孩子成为一个单亲家庭的孩子。
In the end, for the sake of his daughters, Mr. Chen chose to let it go. He thought things would go on like this, but to his dismay, things took another turn. In late December 2021, Mr. Chen discovered that his wife had secretly taken out a loan for over 300,000 yuan. This was a considerable amount of money, and when Mr. Chen confronted her about the loan, she casually mentioned that the money was for the project. At this point, Mr. Chen had already figured out that his wife's partner was Wu Tan, the man who had stayed in the hotel with her. Furious, he slapped his wife again. Because of this slap, his wife left home, abandoning their 3 daughters without a word, and he couldn't get in touch with her. Mr. Chen began to suspect that the children might not be his biological children. At first, he thought that his 3rd daughter was the least likely to be his. First, because the 3rd daughter didn't look like anyone in the family. Second, when his wife was pregnant with the 3rd child, they had used a condom. When the 3rd child was conceived, he was confused, but his wife reassured him that condoms couldn't guarantee 100% effectiveness. Mr. Chen accepted her explanation and didn't think much of it at the time. But now, looking back, he wondered if this child was not his. While Mr. Chen was mulling over these thoughts, his eldest daughter told him that her mother had considered getting a divorce and said that if they did, she would take the eldest and the 3rd child with her. Mr. Chen was puzzled. Could the eldest not be his biological child as well? He also noticed that only the eldest and the 3rd daughter had new clothes, while the 2nd daughter didn't even have a new winter jacket. Mr. Chen concluded that only the 2nd daughter could be his, so he decided to get a paternity test for all 3 children, to be fair. And then, the tragedy happened. When the results came back, Mr. Chen felt like the sky had fallen on him. None of the 3 children were his. This was a huge humiliation. All these years, he had been betrayed by his wife more times than he could count. After working hard for over a decade, he had been raising someone else's children. When he later gave an interview, Mr. Chen said that even if only 1 child were his, he would have been willing to continue living with his wife. But even this modest wish couldn't be fulfilled. When he received the paternity test results, Mr. Chen completely lost his mind. He reported the incident to every media outlet he could think of, hoping to find a way to resolve this. On May 22, Jiangxi media agreed to interview him, and the story was quickly reported. On the night of May 28, his wife, along with her lover Wu Tan, came to Mr. Chen's house, lit firecrackers with mosquito coils, and shattered the windows. Then they violently smashed the door. Mr. Chen's nearly 70-year-old father nearly had a heart attack, and his mother couldn't sleep all night. After the incident, Mr. Chen was furious. He kept the broken windows as evidence and decided to pursue criminal charges. Why, after doing such a shameless thing, could his wife still act so confidently and even bring her lover to cause trouble at his house? His wife's mother told reporters that this was not only her daughter's fault. She claimed that Mr. Chen had often abused his wife, particularly because he was biased against girls. She even claimed that he had beaten his wife after their first daughter was born, kicking her with his feet. If the villagers hadn't intervened, his wife would have been dead by then. Mr. Chen flatly denied his mother-in-law's allegations. He told reporters that before his wife had the affair, he had never even raised his voice to her, let alone hit her. So, was his mother-in-law making things up, or was his wife using these accusations to cover up her own guilt? The reporter contacted his wife, Ms. Yu, and during the interview, she avoided commenting on whether Mr. Chen had abused her due to his preference for sons. However, when asked about the paternity of the 3 children, she arrogantly dismissed it, saying it didn't matter. Listen, how shameless must a person be to say something like this? Even if someone adopts a child, it's still a voluntary decision for both parties, and both have the right to know. How can one hide the fact of giving birth to another person's child from her husband, and then act so self-righteous about it? Not only that, but before the husband was about to do a paternity test for the child, Ms. Yu proactively told her husband, After the incident, Ms. Yu took all 3 children with her, and Mr. Chen did not stop her. Over the years, Mr. Chen had given everything he could to these 3 daughters, only to end up with such a result. Now these children to him are a source of shame. They are proof of his wife's infidelity, and he doesn't even want to look at them. But even though Mr. Chen is the victim, after the revelation of the incident, some people still condemned Mr. Chen for being heartless, saying that the children had called him dad for over a decade, and that despite no blood relation, there must still be feelings involved, and that the children were innocent. To this, Mr. Chen replied,
孩子无辜，那是孩子母亲、孩子亲生父亲他们自己一手造成的，不是我。不要拿道德绑架我，孩子在法律上我也没有这个责任，在道德上我也没有这个义务。
It's easy to criticize others. People who stand on their moral high ground and criticize others never stop to think, what if the situation happened to them? How would they handle it? This is the typical case of standing and talking without feeling the pain. Mr. Chen has been hit hard by this event. The blow was just too great. This situation has trampled on his dignity as a man. As a result, Mr. Chen felt ashamed to face his family. He even thought about committing suicide. Later, after being persuaded by friends and family, he decided to stop punishing himself. He wanted to take up legal arms to defend his dignity and ensure that the two responsible individuals would face legal consequences. During the time Mr. Chen decided to sue, someone anonymously approached him, offering 150,000 yuan to settle the matter, hoping that he wouldn't continue to publicize the case. But Mr. Chen rejected this outright. What he wanted was not money, but justice and dignity. To everyone's shock, after the incident was exposed, Ms. Yu gave birth to a fourth child at the Shangrao People's Hospital. If you haven't guessed yet, you've probably guessed correctly. The child was also not Mr. Chen's. On December 28, 2023, Mr. Chen's divorce lawsuit against Ms. Yu was heard in the Jiangxi Provincial People's Court. Mr. Chen demanded that Ms. Yu return the child support for the 3 kids and compensate him for his emotional distress, totaling 500,000 yuan. Since neither defendant showed up in court, the case was not ruled on at the hearing. Although the result has not been determined, Ms. Yu's shamelessness and her moral degradation have caused her to lose everyone's trust. The public opinion has overwhelmingly sided with Mr. Chen. It is clear that, no matter how this matter is handled, the harm to Mr. Chen is the greatest, and this will likely affect his entire life. When two people come together as husband and wife, if the relationship ends, it should be let go gracefully. Multiple instances of infidelity within the marriage is a blatant humiliation. Ms. Yu's actions are truly disgraceful, and we hope she will receive the punishment she deserves and give the victim the justice they deserve. What do you think about this incident? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section, and let's discuss together. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot to us, and we will continue to bring you better programs. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.